Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 35. In the previous chapter, we have seen King Rukmangada, who was cursed by Mukunda. He is stuck with leprosy and was worried and was about to die by following fast unto death. In the meantime, the divine sage Narada appeared before him and told him about the divine spot called as Chintamani, where there is a divine pond known as Chintamani Ganesha Kunda, and one who takes a dip in that Ganesha Kunda, he'll be removed of all the sins. And in order to narrate the story, he told how it was created and by Indra, and Indra could able to wash away all his sins. For the sin committed by Indra was violation of Ahalya, who happens to be the wife of sage Gautama. And as I said before, everything happened for the sake of good. On one side, Indra is cleared, and Indra came out of his lust for the women because of the curse of sage Gautama. Finally, he recited the mantra of Gajanana with the penance and realized that in the past he was given the same mantra by Brahma, but then forgot that mantra and got into all this problem. So on the other side, he also now will never going to forget the mantra of Gajanana. That is the benefit what Indra has got. But on the other side, at the sacred spot where he did the penance and got the darshana, got the vision of the great supreme deity, and in that very spot, identifying the speciality of the spot, he installed the idol of Ganesha and constructed a huge temple for him and called that place as Chintamani. And that spot is located in the state of Maharashtra in India. And one can visit the same spot and can have a dip in the Chintamani Ganesha Kunda, and with that can have the blessings of Gajanana. This is what the benefit the people have got. Because of that act of Narada, Indra on one side was rectified, and the people have got a great divine spot on the earth. Upon hearing this story, as you know, originally this story was told to Vyasa by Chaturmukha Brahma. So Vyasa, who was hearing to this story, was thrilled at it and would like to know what exactly happened post the post this Narada told all this story to Rukmangada. Did Rukmangada went to that spot? So Vyasa asked Brahma, what did King Rukmangada do after the divine sage had gone? Tell me that charming tale. Brahma explained him the story. After the sage Narada had gone, having undertaken that momentous instructions given by Narada, Rukmangada was filled with happiness and beheld his own army with its four corps. That means the army which got separated from him, they could able to meet him back. Yet to the army, the king appeared to be deformed because right now Mangada is struck with leprosy. So even the chief of that army could not able to the army of that king. The chief of the army could not able to recognize their own king. He who was formerly like a Kama, the most beautiful celestial beauty, he whose splendor was golden, being uncertain how he could become like this in a few days, he asked the king the reason for it. The leader, the chief of the army, asked the king, after having wandered over mountains, forests, and lakes, we have returned hungry and thirsty, O Lord of the kings, but very desirous of seeing you. We were searching everywhere and have now reached your lotus feet. But after seeing your condition, we feel so sorry for the same. Tell us, O excellent king, what has caused it? King Rukmangada replied back to the chief of his army, when I was thirsty and hungry, I saw the hermitage of sage Vachaknavi in front of me and hurried into that. When I got there, I saw his beautiful faced wife, whose name was Mukunda. I asked her for water to quench my thirst. But she was evil and willful, and in a lovely voice she said to me, have sex with me. If you don't, I will going to curse you. However, my mind being pure, I forcibly drove her off. But with her husband gone to bath and she being alone, that evil woman cursed me angrily. After that, in a state of extreme distress, I found myself seated at the foot of a tree, and because of the power of my some previous merit, I saw the divine sage Narada. He told me the best way to get rid of my misfortune, and he extensively described the majesty of Ganesha's sacred pond located in the sacred place called Chintamani. The sage with the divine eye then told me to bath in it, and so I am going to bath there in order to remove my blemish. All of you must accompany me if you wish to have a bath in it. And after we all bath there, give gifts according to our capacity and worship Vinayaka. We will then return to our city purified by the favor of God and the sacred food, sacred ponds. Brahma continued to tell the story to Vyasa. Having understood his intention, they left following the king, and after having gazed upon the sacred pond called Ganesha, the Ganesha Kunda, they bathed there. The king became right all over again. His color like burnished gold, just as before. O Lord of the sages, he is addressing to Vyasa. After that, King Rukmangada was now convinced the speech made by Narada to be the truth, and after bathing there again, Rukmangada, filled with the highest joy, gave many gifts to the Brahmins. After he had worshipped Vinayaka, he saw a mass of splendor, as did the Brahmins and his servants, which was a flying vehicle having the image of sun. So as he performed the worship of Gajanana after taking a dip in that Ganesha Kunda and offering several donations to Brahmins and the learned people, then he saw a huge flying vehicle with the brilliance of the sun coming down all the way from heaven. It was filled with groups of Vinayakas, nymphs, and kinnaras. After he had bowed to them, he asked those people, who are you? From where have you come? Whose messengers are you? And what is your task here? Tell me carefully everything. After those people in that aerial vehicle had heard these pleasing commands from the king, those Vinayaka's messengers who were in the flying vehicle, they told to the king, O king, O excellent king, you are generous. Since with all your heart you have meditated upon the Lord who is in Chintamani, with the appropriate act of pilgrimage and a gift given according to the rite, you have worshipped Chintamani Vinayaka, and you have done correctly what had to be done in this sacred spot. Because you gave whatever is thought of, he is traditionally called Chintamani. Chintamani means one who gives everything that comes into your mind. Whatever you think about, whatever boon you would wish to have, he will give you everything. And by meeting you, well, old man, we have accomplished our duty. but we do not know the greatness of your devotion, O excellent King. By means of body, mind, and intellect, even by offering your life, you have propitiated the god Vinayaka, who is the leader of all the universes. We are his messengers. We are the messengers of Vinayaka, and it is the Vinayaka himself who had sent us here. O King, though we were in rapid flight, he said impatiently to us, "Bring my devotee Rukmangada to me in a flying vehicle." So that was the command by Gajanana. So after hearing this, we have come. So you must now ascend the path to heaven. Go speedily with us to the god Vinayaka. On hearing the speech of the messengers of Vinayaka, King Rukmangada told them, O envoys, on the one hand, here I am, a half wit, and on the other hand, there exists that imperishable, mighty God of perfect body, one who is immeasurable, indefinable, consisting of only of mind, who is the cause of creation, stability, and destruction, but who is himself beyond that particular cause. I do not know why he is so respectful towards me, who is a mere mortal being. In this excellent merit, which has come to fruition for me, a result produced from a sacred pond in an earlier birth. Probably some good things I have done in my past life. Because of that reason, I was met by, say, great divine sage Narada, who told me about this sacred pond. And I just did only having a dip in the sacred pond, performed worship of Chintamani Vinayaka, and offered donation to the learned people here, and nothing else. But just by that, great Vinayaka, the supreme deity, is so much eager to see me. He welcomed me to his Loka, to his world. The appearance he has manifested before you is auspicious and gives extraordinary results. Hence, you are exceedingly fortunate because the messengers of Vinayaka every day they see him in that divine form. The Lord is perceptible to you night and the day. After he had said this and bowed, he worshipped those messengers who was born from the lotus feet and asked all those messengers, my father named Bhima is an excellent king who is fond of the Brahmins, speaks the truth, and possesses formidable power. How can I return my sweet smiling mother without him? Means, how can I come with you, leaving back my parents, my father and the mother who are so sweet to me? She propitiated Vinayaka, the god who is the god of all the gods, and all her life she has honored the deity and never any other. She was such a great devotee of Gajanana. While as their son, I was invited by Vinayaka himself to his world. I do not want to leave back my parents. The messengers, after hearing this, they told him, in that case, make them both also bathe in the sacred pond, and the happiness will be given to your mother and father too. We will then lead these two mounted on the excellent flying vehicle. But how? Right now, near the spot, near the divine pond, only King Rukmangada is there with his army and the chief of the army. His parents are back in the city. But then, how he can have a sacred bath for his parents? So, in that case, when he heard this speech of the messengers of Vinayaka, he made a substitute image out of Kusha grass. He took a few pieces of grass. He made a small doll, identifying one as his father, another as his mother, and others for all his subjects. He uttered the mantra of 6 syllables to all of them successively. You are Kusha, you are the son of Kusha, who has created by Brahma in the past. When you are bathed, he is bathed. That means my father, this is my father, this is my mother. When this Kusha grass is bathed in the pond, it is basically equivalent to them having the bath in the same pond. And this is the tying of the knot in the sacred pond called Ganesha Kunda, situated in the sacred place called Chintamani. The king then performed the ceremonial ablution for all of his townspeople. Then, at the command of the messengers, King Rukmangada and his army, having climbed into that excellent aerial vehicle, arrived at the city of Kaundinya amidst the strains of music, the sounds of prayers, and the singing of heavenly musicians and the nymphs. The heaven resounded with noise in all directions because of that flying vehicle. King Rukmangada, who had attained prosperity by bathing in the Vinayaka pond, conferred prosperity upon his mother and father and all his subjects in the city. Just as soon as this prosperity produced by the bathing of the Kusha grass image of Ganesha was firmly bestowed, other flying vehicles, because there are so many people in the town, so many other flying vehicles arrived together, command of Vinayaka. Each one ascended one by one. They all moved into the sky. In this way, Rukmangada and his mother Charuhasini, as well his father Bhima, and all the people in his state, they went to wherever Vinayaka himself was located. That entire city, from a small boy to one who cooks dogs, attain. One who cooks dog means the one who he belongs to the lowest among the caste. He is also attained a good fate from the merit acquired by bathing in Ganesha's sacred pot. So, irrespective of the caste, irrespective of their birth order, or irrespective of in whose family, in whose caste they are born, one who takes a dip in the pond of Ganesha, in the pond of Chintamani, will be blessed by the Ganesha himself. Brahma, concluding the story, he said, now I have narrated absolutely everything that you asked about, O sage. The man who listens devoutly to the glorification pertaining to the sacred pond situated in the sacred holy place of Chintamani will also attain the good destiny. Thus ends the 35th chapter of Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which the king Rukmangada, along with his army, and not just his army, along with all his subjects and his father and mother, they all attained salvation and they all reached the Loka, the world of Ganesha, where the Ganesha himself presides. Seeing the speciality of Rukmangada, who could have alone had a dip in the pond and could have attained the salvation. But whenever an opportunity comes, it's the privilege for him that he took the entire army, he took all his subjects, he took his parents, everybody to the divine place. So that is usually the ritual in India. Whenever we visit any sacred place and whenever we are having a sacred bath, not all of them in our family, not all of them who are known to us would be fortunate enough to come to such holy spots. So we remember them whenever we are having a dip in a holy pond or whenever we are visiting a holy place. We remember our parents and all those whom we know at that spot so that they will also going to have the share of visiting such a holy place. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmir Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.